So we're gonna go over 4 low backhand tips today to help you have more confidence on this shot. So first I wanna talk about bunting the ball versus taking a false thing through it. So when you're hitting this shot, how does it kind of feel and what are you trying to avoid to get more topspin and more action on that ball?
So what I'm trying to do is definitely trying to stay low and make sure I follow through a little bit high, up and over the shoulder a little bit, just to help me get that topspin and that lift over the net.
And so let's do, what does it look like if you just kind of bunt it here?
So
right. So it's makeable.
It's makeable. It's a much flatter ball.
Right.
A little more risky.
And now the one that you like to hit. So that's our first kind of point here. Release those hands all the way through the shot. When you do a drill like this, you'll learn how to control that. You don't have to bunt it to keep it in.
No.
Okay, second, look at Alexa's stance here. So let's hit a couple. So you'll notice how low she's playing this ball. Her shoulders get down to about here. And the reason, just go into your prep position for me, is that nice double bend at the knees and the hips. So bend here, bend here. Just shadow one real quick. Yeah. So these 2 bends give you low contact without losing all of your power. If you try to hit this low, but you don't double bend, so now stand up pretty tall. So you can kind of make it. You can throw your hands down there and kind of make it. But you'll see that without this double bend in the hips and the knees, see the knees aren't bent, the hips aren't bent. It's very difficult to pick the ball up over the net. And if you do, you kind of have to just dink it over.
Yep.
Now, third and related to this, let's say you have that nice double bend. Let's hit a couple for real. Good. So look at Alexa's stance on these. The feet are relatively wide. Even if you have that nice double bend activation here, put those feet together and let's try to hit a couple. You need a base to twist off of. Without that base, see, she is bending here. So she's activating the knees, she's activating the hips, but you have no balance, you have no power, and she can make the ball, she can float it in, but let's go back to real with that nice wide base to hit from. Now you can really twist the trunk against the hips because the hips are stable. You've got that wide base to plant on the ground, and that ball just flies off your racket. So the last thing we want to talk about, and this one's a little more individualized, is the way that you use your hands in the back. So watch the way Alexa uses her hands in the back here. So when you're doing that, you like a little bit of drop in the back. You feel like it gets you a better, more fluid swing.
Yeah, I like to take my racket up a little bit at the start, just so I have a little bit of momentum going into my swing.
Now, not everyone does that. Some people do kind of start more down here.
Yeah, they do.
So let's see. I mean, I know you can hit it like that. Let's hit a couple like that. So they're in. But for you, it just feels stiff and restricted.
Yes, it feels a lot stiffer. It doesn't feel as smooth, and I don't feel like I can generate as much power.
Right. And it doesn't look as fluid either. So you don't have to do this. But you might feel a lot more comfortable. For someone like Alexa, her backhand is much, much higher quality. Doing that, you can do this. You can do the abbreviated bunt if you want. But just understand that that's something you can play with. When you're doing a drill like this, look at the quality of your ball and let your hands find the position that gives you the shot that feels and looks the best. So that's really it. That's the 4 tips. If you do that, if you do a drill like this, your body will naturally align into those things, but when you get stuck, you can maybe think about 1 or 2 and work on them a little, and then just go back to hitting and kind of oscillate between that to find the shot that you're looking for.